Hello, Year 13, and welcome to the final of these tutorials that will either fill you with delight or make you sad. But it's the last one, and I'm going to show you how to export and use the beautiful ident that you have hopefully created in Adobe Illustrator. So I'm using the example from Ted's title actually because it's a good one to show you as an example. In the last video I created this ident. I took the liberty of creating some lettering for Ted's comedy, and this is text which I have added some effects to, and if I look in the appearance panel, that's window and appearance, we can see that this is a vector object which has an inner glow and an outer glow applied to it. And I want to now be able to use this in other places, not just in Illustrator. So just minimizing that and also that. In fact, not minimizing that, let's have a look at the layers and the objects that we currently have, because that's important. At the moment, in this document, we have a couple of versions of the text which I've made invisible. I've turned them off, and the one that is visible is this one, this compound path here. Now, what I don't want to include when I export this is the background, and remember the background is just a black rectangle that we've drawn. So I'm going to unlock the background, I'm going to select that object, and I'm going to hit delete. Incidentally, I'm also going to save at this point. Please remember to keep saving your work because, as I've said before, the remote system is not the most stable of things in the world. Okay, so I now have my lettering with no background, and it is literally the only thing that's visible on this document, and it's time to export it from Illustrator. How do we do that? Well, we do that this way. Click on the File menu, and then we're going to Export. Now, some things I need to tell you about different graphics file formats. The most common file format for graphics is probably JPEGs. JPEGs are the images that you tend to see on the internet. They're the ones that we use most of the time. But the limitation and the problem with JPEGs is that they do not allow any part of an image to be transparent. And we want to save this in a way so that the gap between the letters is transparent, isn't there, which means that whatever we put it over the top of, it will, you'll only see the letters. So the type that I'm going to save this as the export is PNG. And PNGs do allow part of the image to be transparent. So I'm going to give this a file name. Let's just call it Mindflu. Ted's toes will be curling at probably the way that I've made his title appear. But we'll call it mindflu.png, and this is going to go in the same folder that all of the other saves have gone into. So I'm going to click on Save, and what I'll then see is some options. I don't want this resolution, I want a high resolution copy of this. And I want the background color to be transparent. Let's click on OK. Illustrator will think for a moment. And there we are. So if I come back into, of course this is Eric's, my son's files, and have a look in this folder. Here is the PNG file that I've created, and I'm going to right click on that and open, or maybe I'll just preview it. So you can see that the file that's been created, the glow is still there, so the pixels which are kind of semi-transparent are still there. And if I was going to then use this in something like PowerPoint, so if I was going to use this, drop this image into PowerPoint, you might want to put it into OneDrive if you're predominantly working on a different device like an iPad. But you'll find that if you place that into your work, into your proposal, you will have exactly the same things that were visible in Illustrator. You'll have the glow on the outside, and it will look fantastic. What this also means is that we can use this in other applications or other types of adverts. So when we come to do the print documents like your posters, you can just drop that PNG into the image when we make up the posters. You can use it in videos. Final Cut, other video editors will happily accept PNGs with transparent backgrounds. And so the sky's the limit. We can use it in lots of different places. And because we did this quite large, remember this is an A4 document in Illustrator, so this lettering is very big. It should be big enough to use in all these different applications and remain sharp and not look pixelated, even though PNGs are made up of pixels. While we're editing, we were working with the vector, but as the export, we have created a pixel graphic. Okay, so that completes the tutorials. I hope you've learned something about how to use Illustrator. We will be using it more and more as we go through this unit. But for now, please have a play with all of the options that you've got available to you in there. You can, well, all graphic design that you see from anywhere in the world more than likely has been created using Illustrator. So once you've cracked it, that opens up lots of doorways, and I hope you love using it as much as I do. It's my favourite bit of software. Those of you that know me long enough will know that that is the truth. I love Illustrator, and good luck in creating your ident. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.